But you're into this, right?
I'll actually watch. We've got Rick now.
Oh, we do have Rick.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, this is an important one.
It is.
This is like the NHL playoffs. I don't watch a lot of NHL, but when the playoffs get going, I'll watch.
Rick Beardsley joins us now, the four-time All-American. Rick, how important is this game, the outcome of this game on Saturday? Big picture?
Well, I mean, in the beginning of the year, there was pressure to make the Final Four. We were a 2 or 3 top 4, right, pick to finish that way. Obviously, we're trending at the times you need to trend. We did start off a little bit slow. But this game's really important. I mean, you got to get into the Final Four. It's been quite some time, and if we don't get into the Final Four, I mean, I don't even dare try to go and figure out what is going to happen next.
You know, it raises kind of a bigger question. This came up on our show the other day, and I still don't 100% know how I feel about it. So I'll ask you, if they don't win this game, is the season deemed a disappointment?
Yes. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
That's the quickest answer you've ever gotten from me, huh?
That sounded so sad.
I don't want it to end. These are good kids. They've had a lot of pressure on them. And listen, it comes with the territory. Let's speak the truth between us, guys. You know, playing at Syracuse, it comes with the spotlights and all the pressure that, you know, there is in this sport versus others. I do think, you know, it's been, yes, when are we going to be there? When are we going to, this is the team, this is the team. And then, you know, if they don't get in, yeah, I think it's a disappointment, but you know, look at the way things have gone. I mean, Duke got knocked out. Look at Ohio State. They got knocked out by, you know, Notre Dame, and they didn't just get knocked out. They got knocked out. So it's just the way lacrosse has become. There's a lot of good teams. Look at Richmond. I mean, there's a lot of teams capable of making a Final Four now.
I wasn't planning on asking you about Ohio State, but since you brought up Ohio State, do you think the committee needs to change how they go about setting those matchups where, you know, 1 through 8, they do it by the analytics and they do it in the order it should be, and then the matchups are geographical on, you know, after that. And Ohio State, who had a historic year for them, gets stuck with Notre Dame in the first round. Do you think they need to change how they make those matchups?
No. I mean, pretty simple. It's a formula that's worked, and you're going to have certain matchups. You know, if you are a 2 seed or a 3 seed or a 4 seed or an 8 seed, you should be able to beat the 9 seed, right? I mean, it's just how it works, guys. I wouldn't fix anything. I mean, I would add some teams. I would give guys shots. You know, I would love to give Lemoyne a shot. I mean, Lemoyne, you know, what happens if Lemoyne does end up beating Robert Morris and make the final in their conference, and then, you know, they don't get in because they came from D2. So I think you deserve to have more players in. I mean, more teams in. I think there's a lot of good lacrosse players.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's go back to Sunday and the game against Harvard, down 8-2 at the half. And I want you to be honest. At any point, did you feel like this game is over? Or did you feel like that they still had a glimmer of hope there even when they were down 8-2? You know, knowing that John Mullen was at the faceoff X, knowing how explosive that offense can be, did you truly believe they had a shot in that second half?
Is your boss listening to the show?
I don't know.
Okay, so no. The truth is, I didn't think they were out of it. I just think when you get down 6 goals, it's really hard to dig out. But if you watch the women's Final Four or national championship from last year, BC dug its way out of that type of deficit against Northwestern. So, you know, anything is possible, and obviously we saw that on Saturday with Syracuse. I really do think that, you know, and I will say this: there was a lot of alumni text messages going on. The most I've ever seen in any single game that I've gotten. And I set up a few of them just with guys for the years, and I mean, it was there was a lot of guys on edge, and it wasn't because we were, and there was no one ripping people, by the way, which is, you would think, right? They're like, oh, what is he doing? What is this? What is that? It was more of, God, we got to get it together. God, we got to make passes. What are we doing here? Those were the types of texts. So, yes, you know, in this day and age, anything can happen. But when you're down 6 goals, man, and it could have been a lot worse. I mean, the announcers, you know, they failed to also tell you that and make a big deal that Harvard hit like 3 pipes in the first quarter. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, we hit pipes, but Harvard did too.
What did you think about the hit on Spallina? And it felt like that play changed the complexion of the game. Down 5 at that point, and they immediately they rattle off 3 in a row, turned into 5 in a row, and they went from down 5 to the tie game. How big of a play, I guess, was that, and how big of a mistake was that for Harvard?
Massive mistake. That juncture in the game, you're better off just running through the ball there instead of trying to take the hit. I know it's tough when you see 22 on that chest. You want to run through it, but Syracuse's man up is just way too deadly. And Gary had some timeouts, and that was a locked-in penalty. That was a very crucial mistake. But that is also the difference between guys who've been there and guys who haven't. And Syracuse in the beginning was really chippy. They got after guys. I think they tried to set a tone, or they were angry. But Harvard stayed the course. But when it came down to the nitty gritty, kind of Harvard, the wheels came off a bit, and Syracuse honed it in, especially at the faceoff X.
All right, let's move ahead now and look ahead to Princeton on Saturday, 2:30 down on Long Island at Hofstra. What can you tell us about the Tigers? What stands out to you about this team?
Well, I mean, Princeton is very well coached. Obviously, Ivy League guys are smart. 91, I forget his name. He's the all-time leading scorer now. He just took over for Jesse Hubbard, who was a massive All-American with 3 national championships. I think they have Tucker Wade, a former Hall of Famers kid, Ryan Wade, at the midfield. They're really good on the defense. They did lose their starting goalie to North Carolina due to the 4-year thing at 4 years of eligibility at Princeton. I think it'll be one hell of a game. I think it's a great matchup. I think between the lines is where it's going to have to be the battle. It's going to be about who has possession, and I think, and I don't want to jinx them, but I do think Syracuse has that advantage. And if you're firing on all cylinders and you have the middle of the field controlled, it's a tough out if you're to beat Syracuse. So. Obviously I'm rooting for the team in blue and orange versus the one in black and orange. I have played the black and orange team a lot. I've manufactured anger many a times because I knew they could club us over the head with their wallets when they were older. But it's going to be a great game. And I'm not too far from it here in Darien coaching. We have practice at 4. I'd be there with every other Syracuse alum in the area. It's going to be a great environment. I mean, how many Long Island guys on both teams? Let's hope the weather is good, and we got one hell of a game for all of us to watch, and hopefully Syracuse makes its way to a Final Four.
And what do you alluded to it there, but what do you think it ultimately comes down to? Who wins and why on Saturday? I
think it comes down to who hits the goal, who shoots better. This is going to be, I think, an up and down game. I'd be very surprised if either team slows it down. I just think it's about shots on goal. Not just shots. Shots on goal is huge. And Syracuse really hones that in pretty well, but also Princeton does also. So I think it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. And I know the rest of the fans in Central New York are. I mean, there's a great video of Christian Fotopoulos, who played with me, was our long stick midfielder out in Rhode Island. His wife actually videotaped him like watching the game because he was losing it, and then when they won, he ran, jumped into his pool, was jumping up and down like a little kid. So there's a lot of alumni and fans vested in this game, and I think it will hopefully be one of the ones for the ages.
All right, what'd you have for lunch?
Oh, are there any guessers out there?
Yeah, we had a couple. There was a parm guess, salad.
Yeah.
What else did we see? I had this.
I am in outside the tri-state area. I'm in Greenwich right now, right in an office my buddy Carter McGuckin allows me to use. Kid who his son plays at Loyola. It was Chinese food.
Cheesesteak.
I had Chinese food. I went with.
Is that back-to-back weeks?
Yes, because the Chinese food restaurant's right here. It's so simple. I don't feel like eating pizza because you eat too much pizza. And if you haven't noticed, I got 4 slices of pizza stuck in my chin right now. So it's like it's all there. None of us can look like Steve. You know what I mean?
Beef and broccoli?
I got, what did I get? Shrimp with garlic and peanuts with brown rice.
Oh, nice. That Steve would never eat.
No, are you kidding me?
Not a shot.
Steve would go for a dry turkey sandwich with mayo.
Steve would order.
Oh, no mayo. But I would go turkey sandwich.
Steve
just
would
no
order
mayo.
a beef and broccoli. Hold the beef and the sauce. Hold the sauce.
Sauce on the side.
Just throw some
That's
sauce on the
hilarious.
side. Just throw.
What would you go with, Paulie? Tell me if you were going in the Chinese food restaurant. I know you're single, and you know how you roll.
Oh, I do love a poo-poo platter. I like that. And I'm not just saying that because it's got everything.
Yeah.
You can just eat a little sample. The crab rangoons are always good.
What is it, that upstate New York thing? My wife, Tori, she loves crab rangoons. I can't stand them.
Oh, they're delicious. But, yeah, I'm a beef and broccoli guy.
You go solid. Do you tell them to spice it up?
No, but if I go to the Panda Express, that spicy beef they got, so good. So good.
By the way, is that
All right.
Borat behind you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Sweet Jesus. What in the
Some people
world?
think I look like him.
I can't. It looks like Steve with a mustache.
I'm going to try not to take offense.
I had to, Steve.
personality.
I had to do it. Listen, I've given a fairly settled interview. If you haven't noticed today, it's about time.
No, I have.
I caused a little ruckus.
Yeah. Now I can tell you're in an office because you're definitely toned down.
Oh, I could yell. They wouldn't care.
They wouldn't care.
They wouldn't care. It's been. I missed my family. It's been a long way away from Tori. But Viviana's team, the Cicero North Syracuse North Stars, they just beat the number 6 team in the country, Victor, by 4 the other day. So hopefully today in the rankings when they come out, they're in the top 10.
Nice. Well, good for you. Good for your family. All the best to you, Rick. As usual, enjoy the game this weekend, and again, hopefully, we're talking Cuse lacrosse next week as well.
We will, guys. Go Orange.
All right, Rick Beardsley, 4-time All-American, joining us here.
We can talk to him either way.
We could. You're right. Wrap up the season.
Yeah. It'd
That's
be a
fair.
somber interview, but
Yeah, that's a fair.
we'll be
fair
celebrating.
315-437-7644. Back after this on ESPN Radio.